You bought the gloves. You watched the videos. You told yourself this was finally the year you were going to get the garden right. And then work happened. And the kids happened. And the weekends disappeared. And you walked past those garden beds all summer feeling guilty about it. That was me for 3 straight springs. Money spent, plants dead, guilt every single time I walked past the yard. Until someone told me the thing nobody in the gardening world seems to want to say out loud. You do not need to be a dedicated gardener to have a gorgeous yard. You just need to stop planting the wrong things. Today I am giving you 7 perennials built specifically for busy people. People who forget to water. People who do not have weekends to spend on their knees in the dirt. People who want a yard that looks intentional and alive without it becoming a second job. And if you are not subscribed yet, do it right now because this is exactly what I put out every single week. Plant number 7 alone is worth staying for. Let's go. Plant 1, hardy geranium. This is the most underused spreading perennial in American home gardening right now. Experienced gardeners have it in every border they own, and they do not talk about it much. Beginners have genuinely never heard of it. And that gap between who knows it and who doesn't is exactly why it belongs at the top of this list. This is not the annual geranium you see at every gas station and big box store entrance every spring. That plant dies at the first frost and needs replacing every single year. Hardy geranium is a true perennial. It returns, it spreads, it divides into free plants. The value comparison is not even close. Geranium X cantabrigiense is hardy in USDA zones 4 through 8. Look for Biocovo, soft white flowers with a delicate pink blush, or Carmina for deeper rose pink. Both spread reliably without ever becoming invasive. Low mounding foliage that stays attractive all season and turns rich bronze red in fall. Here is what most gardening content never tells you about hardy geranium. It handles dry shade, the notoriously difficult condition under large established trees where surface roots compete for every drop of moisture. Better than almost any other spreading perennial of comparable beauty available in this country. That dark corner under your oak or maple that has swallowed every plant you have ever tried to grow there. Plant hardy geranium this season and revisit it in September. It will not look the same. One cut after first bloom. Fresh foliage returns within 2 weeks. Beyond that one annual task, virtually no maintenance required. Tell me in the comments right now, what state are you in, and what is the one spot in your yard that has beaten every plant you have thrown at it? Drop it below. I read every single one. Plant 2. Daylily. This plant grows in Alaska. It grows in Florida. It grows in the Arizona desert and in the Minnesota frost. Hardy in USDA zones 1 through 11. The entire country, every single state. There is almost no yard in America where this plant will not grow, spread, and perform year after year without complaining once. Over 80,000 registered cultivars. Deep burgundy, soft peach, bright orange, pale lemon, rich purple, vivid red. When you plant a mix of early, mid-season, and late varieties together, you get continuous waves of bloom from early summer all the way through mid-fall. Here is the economic reality most gardeners never think about. Every 4 to 5 years, divide the clump. One plant gives you 10 to 15 divisions. At $10 per plant at any nursery, one original day, Lily eventually produces over $100 worth of free plants straight from your own yard. That is not gardening. That is investing. Mass-planted daylilies shade the ground beneath them so completely that weeds cannot establish. One planting decision eliminates your weeding problem in that border permanently. One important note. Daylilies are toxic to cats, every part of the plant. If cats spend time in your garden, skip this one entirely. For dog owners, generally safe. Plant 3. Bee balm. If you have never had a hummingbird hover 2 feet from your face while sitting in your own backyard, this is the plant that makes that happen. And once it happens once, you will never garden without bee balm again. Monarda didyma is hardy in USDA zones 3 through 9, blazing red, deep pink, rich purple, bright white. That tubular flower shape is biologically engineered for hummingbird feeding. Their beaks fit perfectly inside. They come back every day, all season long. Monarchs visit. Tiger swallowtails visit. Bumblebees work it constantly. One planting of bee balm supports more wildlife species than almost anything else on this list combined, something that will genuinely surprise you. Bee balm is in the mint family. The leaves brew into a tea that tastes remarkably similar to Earl Grey. You are growing a wildlife garden and a functional kitchen herb at the same time. For best results, choose mildew-resistant cultivars. Jacob Klein for deep red. Raspberry wine for rich pink. Both perform beautifully across most American growing zones with far less maintenance than older varieties. If this video is already giving you plants you are going to put in the ground, subscribe right now before you go 1 second further. Hit the bell so the next video actually finds you. The gardeners who subscribe in the middle of a video are the ones who actually come back. Be one of them. Plant 4, Catmint. Deer evaluate plants by scent before they ever attempt to eat them. Catmint's aromatic oils repel deer at the approach stage, before contact even happens. Unlike spray repellents that wash off in the first rain and need reapplying every 2 to 3 weeks all season, this plant is the repellent. Always on, all season, year after year without a single reapplication. Nepeta X fascinie. Walker's Low is hardy in zones 4 through 8. Lavender blue flowers over silvery foliage from late spring through midsummer. Cut it back by half after the first bloom flush. 3 weeks later, it returns fuller than before and delivers a complete second wave of flowers through late summer. 2 full bloom seasons from one plant in 1 year at absolutely no additional cost. Pollinators that work catmint are extraordinary in both number and variety. If your vegetable garden is not producing the yields it should, the answer might simply be that you do not have enough reliable pollinator plants nearby. Catmint solves your deer problem, fills your border with color for 2 seasons, and fixes your pollinator problem simultaneously. 3 problems. 1 plant. Plant 5. Lamb's ear. Children stop when they walk past this plant. Adults stop. Visitors who have never gardened a day in their lives reach down without being invited to. Stachys byzantina is hardy in zones 4 through 8 and covered in dense silver-white woolly hair that feels exactly like its name. That silver foliage is not just beautiful, it is a biological drought system. The dense mat of hair reflects intense sunlight, traps dry air against the leaf surface, and dramatically reduces moisture evaporation. Lamb's ear is not drought tolerant by accident. It is drought engineered at the cellular level. In the hottest, driest weeks of an American summer, while other plants wilt and struggle, lamb's ear is managing its own water loss with a system more sophisticated than anything you could spray on it. It spreads through surface stems that root as they travel. It suppresses weeds as its dense foliage closes in. It makes every plant around it look better. Purple flowers look deeper, pink flowers softer, red flowers more vivid. Landscape designers use it as a living color amplifier. Now you know exactly why. Hit the like button right now. Every like tells YouTube this content is worth showing to gardeners across America who are still replacing annuals every spring. 1 tap. That is all it takes. Plant 6. Coneflower. Native plant. Medicinal history going back centuries. Blooms June through September. Seed heads that feed goldfinches and chickadees straight through winter. And virtually indestructible once established. Echinacea purpurea is hardy in zones 3 through 9. Magnus purple produces larger flower heads than the wild species. White swan is pure white with orange centers and slightly more shade tolerant. Hot paprika delivers double orange-red flowers, the most dramatic modern variety available. Every 3 to 4 years divide the clump. One plant becomes 8 to 10. At current nursery prices, that is $80 to $150 worth of free plants from a single morning with a garden fork. Leave the seed heads standing through winter. The National Wildlife Federation documents coneflower as one of the top 5 bird-feeding native plants in America. Your garden feeds wildlife for free from October through February. Plant 7. Creeping phlox. I saved this one for last because the first time you see a neighbor's slope absolutely buried in color in early spring, you will not rest until you have planted it yourself. That is what creeping phlox does, and nothing else does it quite like this. Picture a waterfall, but instead of water, it is electric pink, bright white, deep magenta, and soft lavender cascading down a slope, over a wall, along a pathway edge. That is creeping phlox in April and May. And unlike most spring bloomers that give you 2 weeks and disappear, the foliage stays evergreen all year. Your garden holds its structure even in January. Phlox subulata is hardy in USDA, zones 3 through 9. It spreads outward by 2 feet or more every single season through trailing stems that root wherever they touch soil. No help from you. No intervention needed. It just grows. Here is what most gardening videos never tell you. A slope covered in creeping phlox never needs mowing again. Municipalities plant it on highway embankments specifically to eliminate erosion and eliminate maintenance permanently. That problem slope in your yard, the one you have been fighting with a mower or ignoring completely, is this plant's perfect home. Plant it in full sun to light shade in well-draining soil. After it blooms, shear it back lightly. That one cut keeps it dense, encourages stronger spread next season, and prevents it from getting woody in the center. That is your entire annual to-do list. Here is what I want you to walk away with today. You do not need a green thumb. You do not need hours of free weekend time. You do not need to fix your soil or overhaul your beds or start over from scratch. You just need to begin with the right plants. Pick 3 from this list. Just 3. Plant them this season. Watch what happens. Because once you see how little these plants actually need from you, and how much beauty they bring back in return, you will wonder why you waited as long as you did. And before you go, 2 things. First, subscribe right now and hit the bell. Every week this channel puts out content at this level. Real plant knowledge, real zone-specific guidance, real information that saves you money and changes how your yard performs. You do not want to be the person who finds this channel 6 months from now and wishes they had subscribed today. Second, drop a comment below. Tell me which plant from this list you are putting in the ground first, and tell me what state or zone you are gardening in. I read every single comment. I respond to as many as I can, and your answers directly shape the videos I make next. This is your garden. This is your season. Go plant something.